The term ecology was coined in 1866 by Ernst Haeckel, a disciple of Charles Darwin. He defined ecology as the web of relationships that living beings and inanimate objects share, and those relationships together with the environment. The fact is that we all live under the same roof, as it were, each helping the other so that all may co-evolve. What happened was that ecology remained in the university. It was a subcategory of biology. But in the 60s, when the ecological crisis hit, ecology found its way to the streets. It was transformed into a political topic. And today, it's the one topic that galvanizes people the most. Because the future of the Earth and the future of humanity depends on ecology. Ecology studies fundamentally, as we've said, relationships. Therefore, in order for us to understand ecology well, we must carefully examine the environment and the combination of environments that make up the Earth. The environment, firstly, is not just an environment. It is the environment as a whole, because human beings are part of the environment. And I'm sitting here, I breathe air, I drink water, I'm exposed to light. All of this is important to life, so I am part of the environment. But there is more to the environment. It was in the 50s when two great American scientists discovered the genetic code, revealing a reality that they could never have imagined. That all forms of life, from the most basic of bacteria, through dinosaurs, horses, hummingbirds, up to us, all living things are made up of the same basic biological alphabet. Or rather, all living things are built with the same 30 amino acids and the same 4 phosphatic bases. That means that we are all brothers and sisters. It is only the combination of the syllables in the alphabet that creates differences in species, and as a result, biodiversity. What St. Francis sensed intuitively 800 years ago, calling all those beings brothers and sisters, the tiny ant, the tree, the sun and the moon, we know today through scientific study that we in fact do not form the environment. We form the great community of life. So the environment must be enriched by a more globalized understanding. The second point to be examined is the concept of Earth. The Earth is not what you find in the books. A planet comprised of elevated parts, which are the continents, and the liquid parts, the rivers, seas, and oceans. That's a weak idea. Scientists have come to discover what astronauts up in their spaceships knew intuitively, that looking at it from a distance, there is no difference between the Earth and humanity. We form one large unit. So they realize that there is not only life on Earth, but that the Earth taken as a whole is one living superorganism. It behaves like a living thing, and they named it Gaia. It's endowed with a subtlety of balance that only a living entity could have. For example, for millions and millions of years, it has remained 21% oxygen. If it were to drop to 17, 15%, we would pass out. If it were to rise to 27, 28, we couldn't light a match because it would incinerate all the oxygen. The salt level in the oceans is always the same. The oceans have a 3.4% salt content, and that amount is enough to sustain the Earth's climates. the oxygen in the atmosphere, and the basic conditions of life. The same way that nitrogen, that makes us grow, us and plants, is always at 79%. The same goes for all elements, and we know today that the elements are the same throughout the universe, in our bodies, in the stars, and right here on Earth. So the Earth is a living, self-regulating superorganism. So what's the problem we have today with the Earth? It's no longer able to regulate itself on its own. A chaotic process has begun on Earth. That's why there are storms, there are floods, there are droughts. We must help the Earth find balance. That's what those scientists who measure the Earth's climates have told us. We're not heading down a path towards global warming. Global warming has already begun. The temperature will rise by 1.6 degrees, then eventually 6 degrees. This could have extremely devastating consequences for the entire system of life. Thousands of species could disappear, and even humans could vanish, along with millions and millions of people. So ecology, the environment as a whole, as the great community of life, must be preserved. Otherwise, we're heading down the same path the dinosaurs have already taken. There are two important things that must be done. First, to adapt to the Earth's system, adapt to the new situation. That means altering our production methods to pollute less, to waste less water, to contaminate the soil less, to poison the air less. Because if we fail to do that, global warming will intensify and the Earth will face even greater chaos. Second, minimize the negative consequences. And this needs to be done by governments, by large corporations, by investing at least $400 billion each year to stabilize the Earth's climate at an increase of 2 degrees. Because if the temperature isn't stabilized now, the polar ice caps start melting, the sea levels rise by as much as 59 centimeters, and the chaotic climate situation, with enormous hurricanes and storms, could worsen worldwide. The most serious problem the Earth faces is the increase in carbon dioxide, those polluting gases that come from our cars, from burning vast areas of the Amazon forest. Every year, 27 billion tons of carbon dioxide are pumped into the air. If we were to collect it all and compress it into a solid, it would form a mountain 1.5 kilometers high with a base 19 kilometers wide. The question is, how will Earth cope with all this? It will be an immense prospect, and the Earth isn't able to do it alone. That's where we humans, with our intelligence, with our technology, must help the Earth. But technology is not enough. We can't, to tame the wolf, just file down his fangs, because he's still just as ferocious. The same can be said for just having factories that pollute less. We must have a different type of civilization that does not overexploit the Earth, that doesn't pollute. That's why the real key word for environmental ecology is quality of life. For us, for the plants, for animals, so that all life can coexist and co-evolve. This time around, there will be no Noah's Ark to rescue some and leave the others to perish. Either we save them all, or we all perish.